Hi, my name is Noah Schrader, and today I'm going to be presenting about the oil and gas industry in Texas. So, just to give a little bit of background, Texas has the most crude oil of any state in the U.S. It has five of the largest reserves of oil and gas in the U.S., the Permian Basin being the largest. The Permian Basin accounts for a major portion of West and South Texas. Texas has over 65% of U.S. energy exports and continues to grow to this day. Some important notes on the industry itself. There was a 2015 ban that was lifted. I'm sorry, there was a ban on crude oil that was lifted in 2015, which caused a massive boom. To give a little context, in 2016, Texas reported 83,000 barrels of crude oil produced, versus in 2023, there were 2.1 million barrels produced. It's a huge increase. It's incredible. And just a little more context about the Permian Basin, because it is the largest. There's 44% of the US's crude oil is produced from the Permian Basin, and 17% of the natural gas is produced from the Permian Basin. Now, the main methods of extraction for crude oil include drilling and the more controversial fracking. Drilling used to be very popular, but when fracking was developed, it became the go-to because it was more efficient. Companies got more out of their wells. It was overall just better for the companies trying to produce the oil. And today, it accounts for nearly two-thirds of all production in the US. An important note on regulation as well. The Texas Railroad Commission has held authority over the regulation of oil and gas since the early 1900s. And there are many concerns, which we'll go over later, eh, related to the pollutants produced by the oil and gas industry. So some of the pros for the oil and gas industry in Texas, the reasons that it's so important. Um, Economic prosperity in Texas and the US. Like I said in the last slide, we make 65% of the US oil exports. We make up 65% of the US oil exports. Crazy proportion. Crazy proportion. Um, so for the state of Texas specifically, though, there's reported to be $26.3 billion coming from the oil and gas industry in the form of local and state taxes and royalties and things of that nature needed to continue developing and producing the oil and gas wells, refineries, etc. There's also approximated 20% of Texas public school funding comes from oil and gas industries. Pretty crazy numbers. As well as in the job market, Texas Oil and Gas themselves reported 480,000 jobs provided to Texans. The average salary for those jobs being over $100,000 a year. So very, very prosperous for the Texans. The cons. So there are some major environmental concerns, and there's also personal experiences that make people not very big fans of oil and gas for very good reason. So as far as environmental concerns, fracking, which is the main method of extraction, produces a lot of nasty wastewater. In fact, like five times as much wastewater is produced as oil is produced, something like that. A crazy, crazy amount. Um, so obviously this is a concern, not only because we're producing this gross, nasty stuff, but one of the methods of getting rid of it is to inject it back into the earth, out of sight, out of mind kind of deal, um, into uh, salt deposits deep underground, essentially. And they use pressurized systems, which end up cracking the earth just like it would when you extract the oil. But in this case, it's less structurally sound materials that they're injecting this wastewater into, and it's been shown to cause earthquakes. Not only in Texas, there have been studies all over the U.S. that show connections between fracking and all of its processes and earthquakes in those areas. Not only that, but in any type of incident, if wastewater is spilled, if um, gases are spilled, if anything gets out into the environment, a lot of these wells, refineries, different manufacturing plants are very close to residential areas, as we'll see even more so in the next couple slides. And people are affected by this. There are cases where people have had to put down their dogs or pets because wastewater got out and they had to deal with it. Um, so in this slide, we can see on the left side, we have the active oil and gas wells as of January 2018. And on the right side, we have the major aquifers of Texas. Um, as we can see, they kind of matched a little bit. It's a little spooky looking, considering all of these wells where they're drilling deep into the earth and producing cracks deep underneath. Um, who knows what might be spilling out into these aquifers? Uh, of course, there are regulations to protect the people of Texas, but where is the line drawn? How safe is completely safe? It's an interesting debate. On the top left here, we have a picture of a bright, shiny refinery. These are all over Texas. I can attest, I lived in Houston and they are up in force in East Houston. It's a manufacturing hub out there. Um, and then on the bottom right, we can see a somewhat dystopian looking photo where a man is pushing a stroller with his kid inside. Clearly, this is a residential area, and just across the brick wall is pumps going at it, pulling out the crude oil and gas from the earth. Pretty crazy to see. So a final look at the oil and gas industry and the reason it's so controversial. Um, so in the past years, it's very obvious how reliant Texas is on oil and gas. Um, I mean, the money produced, the investments going into it in the past 10 years since that ban was lifted, money has been flowing towards oil and gas. It is inevitable that it will remain on the docket for Texas. You can't avoid that. We're far too reliant. There's too many jobs on the line. There's too much money involved. It will not be backed off. Um, so these are very important reasons to continue the development because it does provide money back to the state, money back to the schools, money back to the people. However, there are many strong arguments still against it. Um, the environmental concerns, the earthquakes, the personal experiences are incredible. The proximity of these incredibly aggressive and abrasive tactics to refine, drill, etc. All of these processes are so close to home for a lot of people, and they cause problems in a lot of these cases. So it's a very difficult topic to analyze. But we are Texans, so we will rise above. And this is my works cited. Just a couple different looks. We have some articles and some more um, propaganda-like stuff. Uh, the Texas 2036, very pro oil and gas, citing its, uh, economic and job market benefits and the future of how much money it can bring Texas, etc. But that's everything that I have. So I hope that you got the chance to learn something. And that will be all for my presentation. Thank you.